Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 115.
115.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
You know, it's less than 4 months from Christmas.
It's time to start thinking about your gifts,
That's
your
right.
Disney gifts.
Halloween's done now. Time to start thinking of Christmas.
And PixieVacations.com. It's certainly time to think about Halloween and Christmas trips to Walt Disney World. It's a slow time right now, but it's going to get busier.
Also, Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. The best deals on tickets in town. Check them out. We're going to check out Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We were there opening night, the first night this year.
Well, it's only one so far, and it's not till the 9th that the second one will be.
It's probably the earliest they've ever had a party. It started September 1st, and here we go. We're going in. There's our Halloween party ticket.
I know, it was so exciting. Like, I love autumn. It was still like 90 degrees out, and it was about to rain anyway, but it still feels like we're getting towards Halloween now.
And as always, they give us the wristband so they know that we are able to stay and enjoy the party.
And for those who haven't been, you can actually get into the park at 4 p.m. on a ticket, even though the party doesn't start till 7.
Oh, and here's my great model here showing
the
new guide map.
And we got in line for Jack and Sally. We were not planning on it, but it started raining, and we thought it would be too long. And it was about an hour and a half we waited, and then maybe about 10 more minutes in line. So it wasn't too bad.
And plus, we did have friends to talk to, so it certainly helped. But we love Jack and Sally, so how cool. And it was the very first appearance of the year. So I am so glad that we decided to wait. And here they come. First time, it's Jack and Sally coming out. And everybody clapped. It was so exciting.
Remember last year, the first time they were actually at Downtown Disney, and then they were at Epcot for kind of a, just to sort of get used to being with guests. And then they showed up at the Halloween party, and it was so exciting for everybody.
And they're very popular, probably the most popular meet and greet. So again, if you get there early, this way you can meet them and start your party shortly after 7, so you're not wasting valuable party time waiting in line for Jack and Sally.
Well, the line wasn't that long any time that we were near there all night, but we were also there during a very, very slow party. So,
everybody says it's the slowest party that they could remember.
And for me too. I don't remember a slower one. And there they are again.
And also, Jack does his famous Jack laugh for me. He even asked if I wanted to hear the Jack laugh, which
and
was
you
amazing.
said no.
Oh, no, I said
we
yes.
don't say no to that.
We never say no to that. And another
He's
thing
fantastic.
I have to mention on the way out, they gave us these really cool autograph cards with Jack and Sally and a nice Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party 2014 logo. So really well worth the wait.
It is worth the wait, even whether it's short, whether it's long. Definitely stop by and see them.
So after that, you took a walk, and why don't you tell us about Madame Carlotta here?
Oh, she's one of our favorites, and she's out in front of the Haunted Mansion for quite a bit of the night. And I went and just got a few photos of her.
Right, and also when you were walking around before the first parade, you noticed Anna and Elsa, unheard of, 10-minute wait at the start of the party.
Right, everybody was like going crazy on the Instagram.
So this is the Headless Horseman. There seems to be new lighting for his ride this year, and certainly the music is different. It's really scary now. I like it. He's slower than he was.
Were you scared?
Well, I don't mean scary for me, but it sets the mood. It's a scarier mood, I think, for his ride with the music. It's more foreboding.
And I just want to say, I think the Main Street lighting, I won't say this about the whole park, but the Main Street lighting, I think, is better than it's ever been for the party.
Absolutely agree. I think what happened is they put all their effort into Main Street to upgrade the lighting and maybe forgot about some of the rest. But it was only the first party. But this is so cool. I just love the Headless Horseman.
And I just want to mention, we are in Town Square. This is about 15 minutes into the parade route. It's the last place that Mickey's Boo-to-You parade will go. If you actually want to see it quicker, it starts in Frontierland, and that will give you 15 more minutes of party than we have being in Town Square.
Right. The ultimate way would go to the second parade, see it in Frontierland, and you have nonstop entertainment. You'll have the Headless Horseman here, the Creepa Crew, which we'll see in a second, and then the parade, and then you can just go off and do more trick-or-treating and enjoy the party. So that would be the way to save little party time.
Right. And we like it in Town Square, but Frontierland's not bad either.
I love this where the horseman sort of rides off backstage with the green lighting in the background. The doors magically close. That was pretty cool.
And here comes Phineas and Ferb.
Yes, they have joined the Creepa Crew once again.
And I see where they're handing out some candy. They do not do that at the end of the parade now.
Right. So this is sort of the replacement. The Creepa Crew is the ones with the candy.
See, I didn't see that before, and I didn't really see now. It's not the same. It's not like they're going around.
It's actually hard lollipop type candy. It's not like the candy guys at the end of the parade in previous years. And again, we'll get to that very soon. And they would always hand out candy, chocolate. Candy to the kids.
It probably end up with like chocolate candy like on the ground, so they probably didn't want that.
But you could see that the kids and the adults seem to really get into doing the what's the dance they do?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Calling all the monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Calling all the and they do that monster move.
I was kind of far away. You ran over to get, to see it, and I was a little bit far away from there.
So here we go. Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade. Already you could see differences.
And I was, we heard that maybe the Pooh characters wouldn't be in it because the float was going away, but they are all there, Piglet and Tigger and Pooh and Eeyore.
Not Rabbit.
Oh,
Rabbit
well, no,
has
okay.
disappeared.
I thought it was Kanga and Roo.
Oh, maybe, yes, it's Kanga and Roo.
On the tree.
Rabbit has disappeared years ago, but you are very correct. Kanga and Roo.
I'm still trying to figure out what that is on Pluto's head because I don't know.
They all have new masks.
They all have new masks.
And they're themed masks, like the Mad Hatter has the Cheshire Cat mask.
And
nice.
Alice has the White Rabbit.
Yeah.
And, the one that Snow White has is more of a... What is it called? Just a kind of
generic
an autumn.
One,
yes.
A generic one.
But almost
same
everybody
with Dopey.
does.
Dopey seems to have
Dopey's
the same.
Looks like it has kind of
jewels.
Jewels, right?
Jewels, just like the mine. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. I see we're learning things as we're talking about the show. This float has remained unchanged as it has for many years. But it's still always nice to be welcomed to the party by Mickey himself in his jester attire.
And then you also have Daisy, Donald, and Minnie.
Now, this is another change. It's interesting that Wendy is now tied up on the pirate ship, but behind her, you see Peter Pan doesn't seem to care. He's just having fun with the Lost Boy there, Lost Boys.
Well, the Lost Boys are also tied up with Wendy.
Oh, are they tied up too?
Yeah, they are. Don't you see that
they're very happily
tied up?
Oh, yes. They're not very tight, I guess.
No, I think all of them can get out if they want pretty easily. But,
Mr. Smee there looks very relaxed.
But the Peter Pan and Wendy and all of them used to be on the ground.
They would be walking, and I think because they put all the Pooh characters in there when they took the tree out, they had to move the Peter Pan and Wendy and all of them. So now they're on the boat.
I think it's nice to see so many little changes. It really is.
It's the most changes in years,
right?
I think.
I think so too. And Barbossa went on to this float last year.
Actually,
I believe.
Barbossa, I think, disappeared from the parade entirely last year. He used to walk. They put him on this float for a year. He disappeared, and now he's back, and he's eating his apple. So he doesn't want any of that ruddy candy.
I actually liked him walking around better in this case. It was nice because everybody really enjoyed seeing him, and he looks so much like Barbossa.
Oh yeah, he's a ringer. Very well. What do you mean? He is.
I know he is Barbossa.
Outrageous.
And there's the Haunted Mansion caretaker, and then the Gravediggers are coming up really close on him, and he's like, "Oh no!"
Love the caretaker.
But he's not running away. Like he looks nervous, but he's like, "What's going on?"
Well, he has the dog to protect him. That dog seems a lot thicker than the one in the Haunted Mansion ride.
I prefer a thicker dog.
Good.
It's nice. And then we have the. Again, Gravediggers are one of our favorites. Oh, and
the hitchhiking ghosts. And I think we're about to see them hitchhike. Perfect timing. This has not changed in any way. I just love it. How can you not have a Boo to You rundown without seeing the hitchhiking ghosts?
Another of my personal favorite floats.
Absolutely.
And next we have, we're going to have the Cowboys and Cowgirls who are actually together now.
It used to be the cowboys all danced with each other.
Right.
And then the cowgirls, I believe, danced with the country bears.
Right. I believe they were with the country bears. And their outfits are different also. I think even the guys' outfits are different this year.
Well, I know the girls have gone to shorts instead of skirts as in previous years. I think all of them have actually changed.
It's a sort of a more casual look to them, more of a denim and, it just, to me, more casual.
Here is the big change everybody is so excited about. Vanellope von Schweetz.
And
Wreck-It Ralph.
And if you look at the Wreck-It Ralph car closely, and hopefully we'll see it in just a second, the tires are candy. Oh, and actually the bumper is a Twizzler. And then even the steering wheel is candy.
Yes, great details. That used to be the car that Pluto would drive. And years ago, Cruella de Vil probably 10 or more years ago would be driving that car, and it had real Dalmatian dogs inside. It had bars and everything. The dogs would be right in there with a sugar rush. So this little Jeep has been around for a long time.
See the steering wheel candy and everything.
Great job.
And even I believe those are pixie sticks.
Yes. And candy corn.
Right.
Candy corn in the top.
And we have the hyenas coming down right now.
Oh, it's the villain segment. This is all different this year. The parade ends with villains. I think Disney has finally realized that people love the villains, so, the finale is now the villains.
But you don't want to overdo the villains because this party is really geared in many ways to kids.
That's true.
So you want to certainly play up the fun aspect and the not scary.
The scary.
Right.
Well, it's not so scary.
It is, but I don't want to see too much. You don't want too many villains, but I do love the villains as much as I love the others.
So this is fun. We have some additional villains this year, although the Pain and Panic, as always, are in this little cage here.
And then we have Bowler Hat Guy, who I don't know if he's ever been at the Mickey's Halloween parties.
No, he has not. Bowler Hat Guy did make an appearance over the 24-hour day in the villains,
right.
The villains pre-parade.
It was a similar type of a parade gathering, and there he is. And we have Cruella and Judge Frollo and all the others, Red Queen.
Yeah, it was a nice touch, a little different to end with the villains.
And Jeff overheard some kids, though, who were wondering where all the candy was at the end. So if you are planning to go, there may be no candy unless it changes at the end of the parade.
Yes, unless the villains are handing out the candy, but I don't think that would work very well, would it?
No, I don't think so.
Another change this year. I see
Jafar.
Jafar, right, taking the place of Dr. Facilier, who has been in that location the last few years. Although Jafar had been there in previous years, so there is
precedent. And there is Maleficent.
I kind of miss having the movie Maleficent around, though. Unfortunately, Maleficent and the Evil Queen that we're seeing here can only be met with the
Villain Soiree for $99 in the castle. They were supposed to be at Princess Fairy Tale Hall with the corresponding princesses, but unfortunately Disney pulled back on that, and now it's Rapunzel and Cinderella.
And it also looks like they have a new, more villainous banner at the end of the parade.
A darker one, because it used to be more, believe it was orange.
So now we're going to move over to the Celebrate the Magic show, and this is the Halloween segment.
It was bright for a little while at this point, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I think what happened was they probably just forgot to turn off the parade lighting. I mean, it's only the first party, so that's why it's a little fuzzy.
And you can see Maleficent on the castle, and also you won't see Ursula right now, but she's in a later part of it.
Right, a couple other villains also. It is the exact same segment as last year debuted, and this can be seen any night throughout the Halloween season during the Celebrate the Magic show.
Right, and it's worth seeing, so if you're in the park, definitely check it out.
And one of my favorite fireworks shows,
Hallowishes. And this is probably my favorite Magic Kingdom fireworks show of the year. And I really like the lighting on the castle.
And you get to have a scream along with Oogie
Everybody
Boogie.
scream.
Everybody scream.
Now, you don't want to be too close to the castle because you want to see the perimeter fireworks, but you also want to be close enough to see the lights
projections,
on the castle,
all the really cool projections, like the jack-o'-lanterns and things.
And so we are usually around Casey's Corner.
Yeah, but in the middle of Main Street,
right.
Usually.
So that's a great location.
But of course, we always have a bunch of people with tripods next to us because that's how we roll.
When you see all the tripods, that's when you know.
That's where you can find us.
Especially the first night.
That's right. But no, as always, great show. We love Happy Hallowishes. I think they shortened the name to just Hallowishes. At least the book just calls it
Hallowishes, right.
Instead of Happy Hallowishes.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Oh, this was so cool. We met Mickey, talking Halloween Mickey. First time we've ever seen him.
And we were very surprised that he was in his Halloween costume because during Christmas last year, he was not in his Christmas outfit. So we thought, well, maybe Talking Mickey doesn't dress.
I was told he really likes his magician outfit and he didn't want to change. But now that he's gotten used to it, he is now... he taught you the zombie Goofy move. I was very impressed.
He has like Halloween jokes and such. So it's definitely, we only waited like 2 or 3 minutes before the second parade.
But remember, it was a very, very...
very slow night.
Slow party.
But the last hour of the parties are always the least crowded. So this is a great time to be there. Oh no, I'm
Zombie Goofy, look at this. Unfortunately, I think I even make an appearance here. The guy taking the picture took my camera, which was still on. He did a fine job.
He did fine, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nice to meet Mickey again with almost no wait. The last hour of the party, always stay till the end.
I can't wait. This might mean there'll be a talking Mickey for Christmas. Yes.
I would like it if Minnie would,
I know.
even if she was
I
quiet.
miss having Minnie there too. That's one thing I have to agree with you.
Because at Toontown, it was nice having them meet together.
So the next event was the Villains Mix and Mingle live on stage. This we hadn't seen before. All these cool projections on the castle. This started halfway through the Halloween party season last year, and we didn't make it. We went to the first few parties. So the projection, wonderful.
And it's so wonderful. We recommend seeing this after dark. Right now, when the party starts, it's still light out. And
right.
After the time change, that won't be the case. But it's not as good to see the show when it's daylight. You're not really seeing much of anything.
Yeah, I actually went to the very first villain show this year, and it was 7:45. It was still light, and boy, oh boy, again, after seeing those great projections, it's just not worth even going to during the day. And I should also mention there's only 3 showings of this show this year. I think because of the soiree, they cut the final show, which was always the easiest one to get in as far as crowds. So right now, there's only 2 shows that you could possibly see in the dark. So, plan accordingly.
Plus, the villains do not mix and mingle. So at the end of the show, you don't meet them. You can go over to Club Villain, and there might be a couple other villains you can meet, but that's it. And some of the villains will not meet except at the soiree, including Maleficent.
Maleficent is one of them, and also the Evil Queen. We're not so sure about the Red Queen, but definitely Maleficent and the Evil Queen.
And Captain Hook, I
think,
think, too.
And definitely Captain Hook. Those are 3 that are no more meeting. And again, they used to come right off the stage, and you'd get short lines, and you could pick the one you want. You'd at least get 2 in, and that's a negative change in my opinion. I always liked the mix and mingle aspect of the show.
But Club Villain is also, to get to see Corella close up really, it was very good too.
Oh yeah, I love the Club Villain. We're going to see that very soon. That's a new addition to this year. So, you take your pluses with your minuses.
Right.
But it's still a fun show as always, and it is enhanced by the lighting, which was not always the case.
I was asked by somebody if I thought the party was better than last year, and I said no, but I don't really think it's worse than last year either. I think it's, you've got your your pluses and minuses, as you said.
That's right. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at some of the decorations around the park because we've seen most of the main events.
And we actually have not been to the whole park. We haven't even stepped foot in Adventureland yet. But going into Tomorrowland, the Monsters Dance Party.
Monstrous Scream-O-Ween Ball.
Right, and that actually is a lot of fun. This is more for kids. The Villains one is
definitely more for adults.
Right. And I really enjoy the Munsters characters. I like Boo and I like Sully. And so this was a lot of fun.
This was actually better than I expected it to be. I agree with you. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch the kids so happy to meet these characters. And it's very colorful. And it wasn't that crowded, although this was about 11:20 at night.
It was pretty late. And I'm not a big fan of dance parties, but both of them were fun in their own way.
That's right.
And I like the Anna costume back there. I went and told her that as well.
That was nice.
Behind Sully. And I think it's very interesting how all of Tomorrowland is really themed towards the monsters now.
Right. Monsters University and actually just Monsters, Inc.
Right, even walking in to Tomorrowland. So
Space
it used
Mountain
to be like spider webs.
Used to have the spider web. Now we're just sort of blinking.
And there is, as we're going to look at merchandise, you can see the Munsters logo.
That's right. So let's take a look at the merchandise for this year.
Well, actually, we'll just look at the shirts for now.
Nice design. There's a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt.
And, of course, a child's shirt as well. So a few little choices here.
Right. I think I would probably get the green one if I was going to get any kind of shirt. And, of course, the trick-or-treating. Oh, the 7 dwarfs were all out. Only about a 20-minute wait. That was the shortest I've seen it ever at a party.
And we did not wait for them. We didn't have much time. So I think next time I would like to meet them. I have never met them at Mickey's Not So Scary.
Well, we're going back next Tuesday, so we'll have a shot. This was a very, very exciting experience here. I got to meet the witch in the old hag form and Snow White. And Snow White was asking me for my opinion if she should take the apple from the hag. And I gave her some very good advice, I think.
And I was over at Cosmic Rays. I stopped to get food. And so you're like, oh, I met I met Snow White and the Witch. I'm like, what?
And we have, and I will link to this in the show notes. You definitely want to check out the whole interaction, but it was really wonderful. A great Snow White, perfect.
I
Snow
really
White.
love the video. It's just a minute, a minute video, so it's a quick watch.
I just hope I gave her the right advice.
I think you totally gave her the right advice.
Oh,
you
thank
don't want
you.
her having the apple.
Nobody
for the pie.
wants a bad apple. It would not be a good pie, that's for sure.
You never know what characters you will, run into in the park, so definitely be watchful of that.
Yes, always be watchful. There's always something exciting going on at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Speaking of exciting, though, we're going to move on to the all-new Club Villain inside the Diamond Horseshoe.
And we weren't sure what to expect of this, and it looked like they were really expecting a lot of guests. There's queues outside,
Yeah.
but it was never busy when we stopped by, and I stopped by early and then we stopped by later.
Not to say, though, that at a busy party there won't be waits
I
to
think
get in
there-
here.
I think there will be.
certainly will be. This, again, was one of the lowest attended parties I have ever been to, and I've been to a lot of parties.
And there is Lady Tremaine and Dr. Facilier dancing with the guests. It really is so much fun, and there's a lot of black light in there.
Yeah, a lot of black light, but it's so much fun, like you said, and it's really an adult atmosphere, I think, although there were kids in there.
Right, it's not like not for kids.
Right.
It's just certainly a little different than the Munsters, over at Munsters one.
I just got a big kick. The decorations were great, and the characters were absolutely fantastic. Just amazing. So much energy.
And there is Anastasia dancing with guests.
That's right.
And Cruella was there when I went earlier, but when I arrived here with you, Cruella was just out briefly, and then she went back. So they sort of mix it up a little bit.
Right. And who's this guy? Do you remember him?
Governor Ratcliffe?
Governor Ratcliffe, yes, from Pocahontas. Even he was burning up at the floor.
I did not see him dancing. You were in here a few minutes before I came with the food. So, and you did get to see Cruella dancing.
Oh, you'll see more of Cruella, but
Drizella really.
Drizella is outstanding. Although I get the biggest kick out of watching Dr. Facilier watch Drizella and her amazing moves.
And everybody loved her dance moves, I think, on YouTube.
Oh,
so.
yeah, absolutely. Well, she's about to really get down. Where were you in all of this? You should have been dancing with her. She could have taught you valuable. Look at this.
I told you, I was
you were
getting
our
food.
food. Yes, very
And
important.
Cosmic Rays is one of the only places that is open till 12 o'clock.
And there is Cruella in the background, sort of slinking by.
So it was, we really recommend this for if you want to see the villains.
Oh, and another shot of Lady Tremaine there.
So did you have a good time in here?
I had a great time.
We said that, when we're no cameras and such, just to go in there for fun.
Oh, and let's talk about what used to be there.
While we look at these fun portraits around the Diamond Horseshoe, it was just Woody, Jessie, Bullseye, dancing really mostly with kids. So it's certainly a totally different atmosphere than it once was.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a bit tired. It seemed kind of played out. So it was a great idea to bring in this club villain. And there's a great black light of Ursula there. A lot of wonderful characters.
I think, though, if they had added Maleficent and the Evil Queen someplace in the park, whether here or at Princess Fairy Tale Hall, that's what they announced. So
Right.
I think they
Princess
should have
Fairy
done
Tale
that.
Hall would have been the place to do it. I think that was the original intention. And boy, that would have been wonderful. I would have loved that. That would have been a highlight.
And certainly much busier than I'm sure Rapunzel and Cinderella were all night, because it's something different that you don't find in the park.
So 2 thumbs up for us for Club Villain.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to move on. We're going to look at some trick-or-treating. We did not get much time for trick-or-treating, but we did talk to a friend who did all the trick-or-treating. And as Donald will say in the Celebrate the Season show, it looked a bit undecorated.
And because they used to decorate here, they used to decorate the Splash Mountain area with pumpkins, and then they used to have like an Alice in Wonderland themed treat trail over where Storybook Circus is now, and they still have the trails, they just don't have so much of the decorations.
Right, and it's kind of a shame, although it was the first party and you never know, but
last
my
year
guess
it didn't
is it
happen
didn't
either.
ever happen, so, Okay, so a tradition of ours, midnight, we always go to the Haunted Mansion and ride it. Mansion at midnight, we call it, and that's a great way to end a party because the party officially closes, and yet you're still getting mansion time.
I think the lighting here is also as good or better than we've seen it. So it isn't like It's all undecorated. There's a lot of lighting in certain areas. Very nicely done, but it would be nice to have actual real decorations in some areas.
One thing that was very special about this first party, Mansion at Midnight, is we had the mansion all to ourselves, except for Snow White.
And it wasn't the real Snow White.
What
It
do you
was she really looked like Snow White though. But that was very interesting.
It was
I
just
thought.
us and Snow White in the Haunted Mansion. So it was wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I always like the end of the night. It's always pretty empty, but this was probably the emptiest that I've seen it in a long time.
So much fun. It's very spooky in the mansion alone, basically.
Well, especially with the cast members there.
The cast members are
They
great
do.
because, of course, they're all made up in their Halloween finery.
But it's not only that, they try to scare you.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
try not to look them, the trick is to not look them in the eye.
I like the scaring
Makes me
effect.
nervous.
Here's a look at Mr. Toad in the Pet Cemetery with the special lighting.
And he was gone for a few months, so it's nice to see him back. And again, also nice lighting here.
Yeah, I love it at the very end when all the PhotoPass people leave, because then you can get some great spooky shots of the mansion.
And actually, PhotoPass was still in Main Street till like 1 a.m., which is unheard of.
Yeah, for
So-
such a small party as far as attendance, it was wacky that they were there so late.
wacky. This is almost 1:10 or so in the morning.
Well, no, this picture was taken at 1:10. We walked out at 1:16, so we were the last people to leave as a tradition for the first party.
And I never want to be like the last guest out the door, but we always take photos at the end of the night. And because of the second Villainous soiree that evening, it pushed the time. It usually is around 1 by the time everybody is gone, and it was almost 20 after when we ended up leaving because there were still guests in the park.
Right, and that's the real reason the PhotoPass was still there, to give the soiree people a chance to get their pictures on the way out.
And here is the end of the night. Again, 1:16.
And that
So
is
late.
another party, the first Halloween party of the year, and it's also another show. And we want to thank our sponsors. First, Pixie Vacations.
Yep, and definitely check them out, their website, or you can also book it from Mousesteps.
Also, Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency, the best deals on tickets in town. Check them out. They have great deals on tickets.
And Theme Park Connection, they've been with us since the beginning, on the way from the airport to Walt Disney World, or even on the way back.
As I said earlier, only less than 4 months
Less than
from
4
Christmas. So anyway, that's another show. Thanks again, and we'll see everybody next week. Have a great week.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!